everyone, this is Greg from Mystery Honey. Today's video is going to be investigating why I've lost a hive. So in winter you expect to have some losses. This can be from, I don't know, starvation. Sometimes the weather doesn't act the way you want it to act during winter, aka go cold. Like, it's been very mild for us. It's been around 10 degrees C this whole winter so far, so it means that the bees are more active, they're more likely to eat all of the stores, which they have been doing last time I came about a month ago. So something along those lines. Starvation is a big one. Another one is that the queen can fail, so she can become a drone layer, or sometimes she can just die. So winter is a very stressful time for the bees. They all have to huddle up, there's not a lot of movement, the queen can't do what she wants to do, which is lay a lot of eggs. And all the other bees are so huddled up against her that she can't really move very much as well. So it's quite a stressful situation for her. Sometimes the hearts can just give out, so that's one thing that can happen as well. The last thing is that a disease can cause havoc for hives as well. So sometimes there may be some underlying diseases, so some varroa problems. So the varroa could be infecting the hive and could be killing all the larvae, could be giving them some viruses like deformed wing virus, among other things. Could be all sorts. And in winter, that is the time that these diseases come out and they will kill the bees quite quickly. So while I was checking the bees today, I've come across a dead hive. I've not actually managed to check all the other hives at the moment. I've just found this one. It's the first one I've come across, and it's one of the ones that I was expecting to be the strongest going into winter, so it's really caught me off guard. So first thing I did was I blocked the entrance because I don't want any other bees coming in and robbing it out in case it is a disease. Now what I'm going to do though is investigate it, see if I can figure out why it died. There's a few indicators which I'll go through, pointing out to different reasons why it died, and we'll just go through it together and see what we can see. Okay? So this is the hive in question. As you can see, it already had a lot of food, so I left a lot of fondant on here. So this is a big indicator that it's not starvation that's caused them to die. So take it off, and as you can see, they've not eaten it, so it means that it's actually started to come out of the packaging, because this is actually quite liquidy, so it will actually work its way out. So it's not starvation, that is not the issue. So we're going to go through it and see what we'll find. So there's a lot of dead bees on the top, so what we're going to do is we're going to have a quick look at these bees. They have all their wings stuck out like that. The wings look fine. They've shoved the head into the wax there, and that one as well seems to have all its wings out as well. So the wings look okay, and it doesn't look like they've got any particular disease on the outside. So I can't see any slimy bees, I can't see any particularly bald bees. So I can't see if there's actually any... I can't see anything that could be a brood-related disease yet. This year, I've had to deal with something called chronic bee paralysis virus, and that wiped out quite a few of my colonies. That was in a different apiary to this one. This apiary seemed to be quite okay compared to that one. So what you'd be looking for that is bees around the outside, which you can kind of see here, which is kind of showing that that could be it. But you're also looking for jittery bees, you can't see that because they're all dead, and you're looking for shiny bees, so that the bees that don't have any hair. Now if we look at this one, look at this bee, as you can see it's got very furry back and sides. It looks relatively healthy, so I'm not quite sure what has happened when it comes to that. So I don't think it's chronic bee paralysis virus. So what we're going to do is just pull, well first of all let's feel the weight of this. So that feels like there's weight there, so it means that there's food here. So that means that they definitely had food. If it's not starvation, then there's usually 3 reasons why colonies failed. 1, the queen failed. 2, the weather changed drastically and caused too much stress. 3, disease got them. Now, looking at the bees, they look relatively healthy. They've got full-on wings, they're furry, they look happy enough. They haven't got the tongue sticking out, so they're not starving or anything like that. I don't think it's any sort of disease yet, but we won't know fully until we find the patch of brood, if they've got any. Yeah, so that's a lovely frame of food. They had no starvation in this hive at all. So we're going to keep going through. Last time I was here, the cluster of bees was over here, so hopefully the queen will be over there and we can have a look at the state of her. Something to noting is that a lot of this honey here is not capped. Now, I can't smell any fermentation, but if you see a lot of uncapped honey, it could be that the bees are drinking the nectar that's fermented, and that can cause dysentery. So what I'm looking for now is just for any signs of poo everywhere. You'll know what dysentery looks like because it looks like a tidal wave of poo. Yeah, I can't see any eggs on that side. Can't see any eggs on this side either. Now, because it's winter, the queen won't always be laying, so that means that we might not see any larvae or eggs anyway, just because the queen may be on a brood break. But we'll have to see if there is anything, because like we need to find some sort of clues. Let's have a look. So this is where having a torch is really useful. So I'm going to have a quick look inside and see if I can see anything. If I can see something, I'll bring it over to it. No, so this is just nectar again. Now I'm looking at the bees. The bees look healthy. Don't look starving in any way. Don't look shiny, other than just the fact that they're starting to rot now. Right, and I'm looking down through here, and I think I can see a patch of brood down there. You can tell a patch of brood because usually it starts to go a bit mouldy. So I'll have a look inside. The reason I'm not looking down here is because it was very light and I don't think there's anything actually on this side. So I'll take this off. Move these over here. That's very heavy still. So I think we're probably going to find something down here, because as I said, brood tends to go a bit mouldy when the hive dies, and I can see a fair amount of mould down there. Can't smell anything bad, so honestly, so a lot of brood diseases have a horrible smell of decay with them, whereas this doesn't smell like that at the moment. This just smells of nectar, really. It doesn't smell bad. Ugh. The issue with a hive when it dies is that the frames can sometimes swell. The reason for that is because the bees aren't there to keep the humidity down inside the hive. If that's the case, it can cause issues. So what I'm doing here is I'm using these bits here to lift the frames up, because when I've just lifted the lugs up, then the lugs have come away from the sidebars, and that's a great way of wrecking frames. So I'm just doing it this way. It's a bit more annoying to do, but just works a bit better at retaining the frame health, because hopefully we'll be able to reuse these frames if it's not diseased. It's really stuck in there. Right, let's have a look at you. So as you can see, it's gone quite mouldy around the outside. It's still okay to give the bees mouldy frames in spring and summer, as long as there's a high nectar supply, because the bees are better at cleaning this up than you ever will be. Most you'll be able to do is either scrape it off, or give it a meltdown and fresh comb and stuff like that. But you can actually give that to bees in spring and summer if there's a high nectar flow, and they'll clean it out for you. More mould. I'm still trying to see if I can see any larvae. So the reason why it goes mouldy near larvae is because that's where they usually keep all the pollen. So the pollen is where a load of yeasts are stored and stuff like that, and then if it's not kept under wraps, the yeast will start to ferment the pollen, and then it'll just start spreading. So that's why it gets all mouldy around here. And there you can see that there is all the pollen there. So I can't see anything yet. So I can't actually see any brood. Choose one of these leaves. So I'm just going to scrape away a bit of this mould here. See if I can figure out what it is. Yeah, so that's just pollen. So what I thought was larvae is actually just pollen. So that's annoying. So I can't see any larvae here. So that could mean that the queen has died. Now, I did do a Formic Pro treatment at the beginning of autumn. And Formic Pro is a nightmare for killing queens. So it could be that the queen died and the colony was just huddling and trying to keep itself alive for as long as it could, and they all just died naturally, which would kind of fit because the bees do look and that's a broken lug. Fantastic. I'll have to take that out. The bees do look healthy. So yeah, it's not great for a way of determining death. But my guess is that there is something wrong with the queen. She's died, and then the rest of the colony has died. Because another thing I've noticed is that there's not a lot of bees. That means that either the colony was too small and they couldn't keep themselves warm during particularly cold nights, etc., or the humidity got to them, which is also indicated by all this mould as well. Or it meant that the colony was dwindling, and any that had died, the undertaker bees kicked out, and they kicked out until there was just not enough bees in there. Because beforehand, this whole double brood box was full, and it shrunk and shrunk and shrunk. So to me, I think that the queen has died during the Formic Pro treatment, and then the colony has just shrunk and shrunk and then died off that way. That's my thoughts behind it. I can't see any disease. It doesn't look like they've been attacked by any wasps or anything like that, or mice, especially this time of year. It all looks absolutely fine. They've got food. I think it's more than likely that the queen has died from the Formic Pro treatment, and then the bees have just dwindled and died naturally. What I will do though is I'm going to close this up, and I'll have another look at it in spring and make a decision then whether I'm going to reuse these frames or whether I'm just going to melt them all down and use fresh. To be safe, it's always better to melt them all down and use fresh comb, and make sure that you sterilise the boxes as well if you think there could be a possibility of disease. These colonies looked fine going into winter, so I don't think it's disease. I think it's absolutely fine. I think it's just the fact that the queen died, colony dwindled. Tell me what you think anyway. It's always sad to lose a colony, especially when you've not got that many like me at the moment. I'm very, very low on colonies. Bees are your pets. They're like a dog and a cat. They may not like being scrugged like dogs and cats, but you do treat them like they are your pet. It's really upsetting to come across a colony that has done so well throughout the year like this one, and it's suddenly just died off in winter. And to be honest, I may think it could be the queen that died off, but really, that's just a guess. I don't know 100% what that is. That's why I'm going to come back to it in spring and make a decision whether I'm going to risk it or not. I don't think I will risk it, but we'll see. Winter is one of the harshest times for bees to survive. It is the leveller, the great leveller. You may have amazing colonies like this that die off, and you may have colonies that you looked at the beginning of autumn and gone, no chance they're going to survive, and they'll make it through to spring. You have no idea which colony is going to make it through and which one's not. I genuinely thought this was going to make it through winter because I was going to use this colony to make queens for next year because it did so well. So I'm absolutely heartbroken that it's actually died off. If your colonies do die in winter, don't take it too much to heart. As I said, this is the harshest time of the year for them. It's not always down to you. Sometimes it's just down to the bees, sometimes it's down to the weather, sometimes it's down to just luck. Try not to get too upset about it. And if it's your first year of beekeeping, then it's going to be more than likely that you're going to kill your bees. It's unfortunate, but that is the case. First year likelihood is right up here, and then as you get older and more experience, it starts going like that, and then usually it settles around 20% of your colonies will die during winter. It can be less, it can be more after so many years, but generally it's around 20% of your colonies are going to die during winter. That's just nature, it's just the way things are. I'm going to go through the rest of my colonies now and see if there's any more deadouts. The first thing you should always do when it comes to a deadout is block the entrance. Make sure no other bees can get in there and rob it out, especially if it's got food like this one has. That stops any disease, if there is any present, from going around into the rest of your colonies in winter, because the bees in winter are little thieves. They will rob off each other left, right and centre. They don't give a crap. So make sure that you block up that entrance as quick as you can. After that, just go through it nice and gently, nice and carefully, frame by frame, checking everything. you want to see if there's any larvae. If you see larvae, you want to see if it looks healthy. If you see any cappings, you want to see if it looks gooey or whether it's dry, or if it's got like cappings have been bitten or anything like that, because that could mean starvation. You just want to go through it and take your time. If you have any questions at all about a deadout that you've actually witnessed or has happened to you, please get in touch in the comments. I'll give us what advice I can do. Every single one's different. So you may come across yours, may look completely different to this one. I'll do what I can to help you out though. So just leave a comment and I'll do what I can. All right, thank you so much for watching this video. Hopefully it'll be one of many this year. I've got a brand new camera, brand new microphone, all that sort of stuff. I've invested in this, so let's hope I manage to actually stick with it. Thank you so much for watching it. It means the absolute world to me. If you want to see more videos like this, I've got a back catalogue of doing full hive inspections throughout my apiaries. All you need to do is click on more videos or something around here somewhere, down at the bottom of the video. If you want to see more videos in the future, hit the subscribe button. And if you want more people to see videos like this, please hit the like button. It makes a big difference for small creators like myself. I have an Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, yeah, and YouTube as well. I've got loads of different places you can find my videos. I do fact checks on TikTok. I also do a bit of a sort of a vlog situation on TikTok as well. So if you want to follow along with anything in my finds or anything like that, please follow me on that. Links are somewhere on my profile. Right, I hope you had a fantastic Christmas and I hope you have a really, really nice new year. I'll see you guys in the next year. Bye-bye.